All right, if you've been following, I've dropped 5 shorts already, 5 different pieces of this Decode. Now I'm sitting down and stitching it all together, but of course I got more questions. If you feel called, you can go back and watch those shorts. They stand on their own, but this right here, this is the full version. This is where I break it down layer by layer, and of course, you know, more questions are going to arise for everyone that listens to this. Like, if you're awake, you know, this should awaken you to other levels and then pop some questions into your brain. So if you're new and you haven't seen the shorts, well, you're in the right place, because this is the full version. So let's get into it. This started with signs. First thing I clocked, Master's Ambulance Service. Stamped 321 on the back, not once, but 3 times on the vehicle. Countdown and divine order. Then I see a license plate, VRL, virtual reality living, is what popped into my head. So it was a direct confirmation of what I was getting ready to post after I was supposed to come back from the walk with the dogs. So everything's already lining up. Right after that, I saw another plate, RWD, rewind, slow down, review, don't rush the drop. So, you know, I waited for more pieces to come in, and here we are. So then it hit me. Why have they been pushing the virtual reality goggles so hard these past few years? Because the truth in plain sight, they mock the real system we're in by distracting us with headsets. So you never question the fact that this life is already the program. After I recorded, I walked Lola down the same block where I saw the ambulance. Now I see screws on the sidewalk. I didn't notice them when I was walking Zoe. That's a sign, source telling me the machine's literally coming loose. Then in the middle of the street, there's a random doll hand, palm up, fingers pointing at me like an invitation. Take my hand and follow me. So VRL, rewind, screws, doll's hand, confirmation, review, glitch, invitation. Proof the program is showing its seams, glitching out. So Archetypes has code. Here's the truth. We come here, we pre-plan everything, and then we get the memory wiped. That's why those same questions haunt you like broken records, like they do me. Who am I? Why am I here? What's going on? And, you know, so on and so forth. The answers don't drop on demand. They come on divine timing. This realm runs on a hidden clock that only unlocks when you're ready, AKA you've done the inner work. So I kept asking my higher self over and over. Finally, it dropped. I'm carrying the Magdalene blueprint. But that opened up another question. Okay, so what does that actually mean? That's when the code ripped wide open. The book we're handed, the so-called holy book, it's not literal history, it's parables, it's codes. Those figures weren't just people. They're archetypes, characters, frequency packs, character skins. And here's the real setup. We pre-plan everything before we come here. But when we drop, memory wiped, everyone starts at the same base level. We're born into hell. This place, it's a school. That's what nobody wants to admit. The inner work, the shadow work, the heartbreaks, the lessons. That's the grind we signed up for. And heaven and hell, they're not some far off places. They're frequencies right here, right now. We're born into hell. We do the work and we ascend. That's heaven on earth, us ascending in consciousness. Every religion, every philosophy, every spiritual practice is just people grabbing pieces of that same truth. That's why there's confusion. Somebody gets close, they call it one thing. Somebody else, they call it another. The names differ, but the core is the same. Do the work, rise in frequency. And here's the kicker. The archetype packs, you've already picked them. They're coded into you, but your job is to fucking remember why you're here. The books, the myths, the parables, they're breadcrumbs from your higher self, clues pointing to the archetypes you loaded in before you dropped. Your path, your role, your purpose. That's why Magdalene unlocked for me. I hit the frequency my higher self already knew I'd hit. And boom, archetype activated. And it's not just Magdalene. I felt other packs too, like Medusa popped in for me last year. Did I hit a certain level and then unlock her? Was that an add-on pack my higher self dropped into the inventory once I rose high enough in frequency? Because that's what it feels like. Each archetype tied to its own frequency band, waiting for you to rise high enough to claim it. Unlike unlocking archetypes requires frequency. Archetypes aren't random character packs you just grab. They're available to everybody, but they stay locked until you rise into the frequency of the chosen ones. How do you get there? Shadow work, inner healing, clearing the trauma. That's the grind. Every lesson, every trigger, every person who broke you, that was the training, the quest, the test you signed up for to level up. Until you do that work, those archetypes stay locked. You stay stuck in tutorial mode arguing with fucking NPCs. But once you rise, the archetype packs unlock. Magdalene, the healer, prophet. Now you're in your inventory. The gamer with the goggles on. So if you're running the archetype, who's picking it? That's your higher self. Out there, the headset on, scrolling the menu like Magdalene unlocked or maybe Chaos Gremlin level 9. You're the sim, you're the avatar, or like I like to call it, meat suit, meat vessel. Your higher self is the gamer, the matrix is the operating system. Source, that's the console running the whole damn thing. Déjà vu, that's just the game lagging. Synchronicities, cheat codes slipping through. And the deeper I go, the more side quests freaking pop up. Like the system keeps throwing distractions so I don't finish the main download. But all right, I got part 1 out. I have more questions. I have part 2 and part 3 loaded. I'm posting everything right the fuck now because it seems like every time I get it organized and I'm ready to post it, more information and more downloads come. I'm calling this Pandora's box, but you know. This was part 1, come back for part 2, and then there's part 3, and then, you know, there's side quests and new downloads because this is like Pandora's box and peeling back a freaking onion. One layer, one question, new question, some more answers, another question. It's like, is this ever gonna end? So I don't know, we shall see. But, you know, just like the Tootsie Roll Pop, like 1 lick, 2 licks, I'm getting annoyed where I'm just going to take a bite out of it. Like, what's going on? I want to know. And I'm pretty sure everybody else wants to know too. So come back for part 2. And if any questions pop into your brain, drop it in the comments because I'm curious. Because every time I feel like I unlock something, I get a new question. So if a question pops into your mind, share it. Let me know. Let's open a discussion.